just waiting a minute until you perhaps show up. Some people show up. It was a historic day. The House of Representatives impeached Donald Trump, the only president in history who was impeached twice. Um, and it was apparently the numbers of Republicans who voted for impeachment today is the largest number in any impeachment. So um, that's interesting as well. Anybody here? Let's see. Oh, not yet. All right, this is something I did today and put it out on the internet and on Medium, where I publish all my political cartoons. Hi, Hal. Good to see you. And then I wanted to show you also this drawing because they're talking now. This is what I did yesterday. Remember, I was doing the sketch and I painted it in about follow the money. I grew up during Watergate, and I've seen All the President's Men about 10 times. Anyway, the money, follow the money, which is what Deep Throat told the Washington Post reporters to do in terms of finding out, the burglars at Watergate. They weren't just burglars. It's like these were not just rioters. And they're beginning to talk about that a lot more right now. Is that there's more to it, like these insurgents, rioters, extremists, terrorists, whatever you want to call them. Actually, they were protesters to start with, and then some of them went away and got the ropes and the climbing gear and the bats and things like that. They went and got supplies to begin the insurgency and the assault on the Capitol. So, and who are these people, and where do they get the money to get these supplies? Who paid for their transportation? Who paid for them to be in Washington? These are things that we need to find out. And if you follow the money, you'll find out who's funding them, and it might be somebody higher up. Hi, Jaden. Hi, Pablo. Good to see everybody. How's it out in LA, guys? Yeah, so I finished this one. I'll post it later. Trump giving money to his supporters, which he doesn't really. We don't think that he does that, but he might have. He might have, or the promise of some kind of reward of some kind. I think a lot of people followed him. A lot of people are adoring of him because he appears to be someone with a lot of power. He used to have a lot of power, not for long. And he's somebody people look up to because of the fame that he's managed to keep for a long time, and the seemingly large wealth that he has. But I don't think he really does. He's failed at businesses right and left. Hi, Karen. Hi, Antonella. Persona non grata. Good evening. Karen says, been glued to CNN most of the afternoon. Comey's on BBC. Yeah, he was just on CNN talking about this, talking about, who are these people? Who are these terrorists? And they're obviously being supported by somebody. So that was my first thought. So let me turn this around and I'll draw something for you. I'm a cartoonist and a writer. I didn't say that. I failed to say that to start. Cartoonist and a writer for the New Yorker for most of my career, all of my career, frankly. Started right out of college, and the New Yorker, and then I also have worked for many other major publications, and now, as well as them, I work with and for HAPS TV. And every day at 6 o'clock on the East Coast, I'll live draw something. First, I wanted to sketch a little something. I had this idea that I showed you the one I did earlier. I draw the Statue of Liberty a lot. I did this today because I was motivated watching. Had it all day watching the proceedings. I feel like the impeachment is important because I think we need to show the rest of the world that we are holding Trump accountable. What the impeachment actually means for him. Hopefully, it'll mean he can't run again, but at least the rest of the world will see. And also, I want my point is that telling the rest of the world we impeach him and we welcome people to our shores. Like the Statue of Liberty is always very welcoming. And now with Trump gone, we're even more welcoming. So, but I had this idea of doing a drawing of Trump, and I drew a version earlier. You know, this very historic nature of this. Let's sketch it first a little bit. Usually I don't show you guys when I'm sketching, but there's actually a photograph on the front page of the New York Times. We actually still get the paper version, believe it or not. And it's him walking across, probably coming off or going to the helicopter, and he's looking down, which we've seen him do before, but this particular photograph really has him looking a little bit dejected. As to whether he really is, I don't know. And I wanted to do a drawing similar to this. He's got this long coat, right? And when I drew this earlier, I realized I wanted to make him less of a caricature than I usually do. I just started drawing this picture of him looking down and not wearing the short pants. The short pants were originally, I originally drew the short pants because he was a schoolyard bully. And it dawned on me today, because of this impeachment, he can't really be a bully anymore. He's going to try, but he's lost a certain amount of his power. And actually they said this on CNN, that his brand has lost. His brand has been tainted quite a lot. So I wanted to draw this and also add something to it. You'll see that in a minute. Trying to decide if I like this. I wish it wasn't sitting so low on the paper. But anyway. This is a Pentel pen brush that I like to use. Let's see. So maybe this is the last time, maybe yesterday or whenever I drew him last, it's the last time I'll ever draw him in short pants. Because he's lost his power. He's not the bully that he used to be. So also I wanted to mention something today that struck me. You know, all the pundits are talking about him on TV and saying how, well, some of the Republicans today in the speeches they gave, so well, he's a different man than the last week than he ever was. Well, that's not true. We know that's not true. He's been inciting violence for 4.5 years, almost 5 years, and I remember. I was old enough to remember that one of the first times I heard him incite violence was when he said that thing he said on the bus with Billy Bush, when he said they didn't grab women by the pussy. And to me, that's a violent statement. Let me see what you guys are saying. Hello, Mark. Mark is the CEO and co-founder of HAPS. Good to see you here, Mark. I noticed today some of the Republican reps could not keep their masks on. I know. One guy was just talking with the mask around his mouth. His nose was completely exposed, and I wanted him to be reprimanded. Speaking of, I'll tell you later. Kia or Liza, hello from New Zealand. Hello. Wow, Louise. That's right. I've sort of met you, Louise. I was on a broadcast with you, Chantal's broadcast, New Year's broadcast, right? That was fun. I learned then that you're from New Zealand. I still want to go to New Zealand. Can we figure out a way to get me there? Mark says, for someone who cares so much about what other people think about him, I'm sure Trump is sad to be the only president who's been impeached twice. Yeah. That's one thing he can't say, that he can't brag about that. You know, you'd think he'd try to figure out a way to brag about it. It was not a fun morning. Yeah, really glad things are back up and running. Oh, because of Haps. Yeah, Haps had some kind of problem with your server. It went out. I don't understand such things. If you guys want to sponsor me, you're please welcome to do so. I've got several. Hal's my sponsor, and Mark and Pablo. They all are my monthly sponsors, and I really appreciate it. If you like what I do here, then consider sponsoring me. So let me show you what I was going to do here on his lapel. I wanted to wait a minute for it to dry, because I don't really want a repeat of the other day when everything got smudged. Did a nice drawing of Eugene Goodman, and it got totally smudged. Okay. He's wearing a scarlet eye, and my hope is that should I make the eye? I'll just make it. I mean, the two of them, just a one like that. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna paint this. I'm worried. I probably think I will. These are decisions. Sometimes things are better when they're just black line. But I might try to use some ink. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing up here. This is my black palette. Sometimes I put skin tone in here, like Trump's skin tone. The question is it is it dry enough? The good thing about black is that if it bleeds a little bit, that's okay. Anyway, Trump, did you see the amount of police presence in the Capitol area? Just incredible. So I don't think anybody can do anything bad. Do you think? And I wonder if this is the last time I'm going to draw Trump. I don't know. I'm going to wait on that because it's probably really wet. The other option is to do it with Photoshop, but I really kind of like, where's my palette? Watercolor. I really like water. Oh, by the way, let me show you I got a whole new set of Dr. Martin's dyes. These are the inks that I showed you the other day. These are the inks that I use sometimes. They're very bright colors. And for the drawings that I do that eventually go on the internet, it's helpful that they're bright. I'll show you what this red looks like. Very intense. I've watered it down a little bit. Almost looks pink, doesn't it? I watered it down too much. It really almost looks pink, doesn't it? Not that I really didn't want it to be pink. So I'm gonna wait on this because I know it's gonna bleed. Let's see what you guys are saying. Take this out of here. Thank you, Louise, for the award. Thank you, Mark, for the award. Um, let's see, what are people? I'm trying to go back and see your comments. Um, yes, I'm glad you got things up and running again, Mark. HAPS had some problems earlier. I'm trying to get one of your hats, but you don't ship it to well, I would, Karen. Please write me an email. We can figure something out. Do you have Venmo? Do you have PayPal? That's very nice. You want to get one of my hats, one of my I'm speaking hats that I have that I sell. A drawing I did of Kamala Harris during the debate of her saying I'm speaking. Um, email me, Karen. Liza@lizadonnelly.com. For how long have I been doing these caricatures and cartoons? Since I was 7 years old, but professionally about 40 years. Thank you, Mark. Oh, thank you, Mark. I'm really happy that you guys perhaps reached out to me. Was it in April or May? And asked if I wanted to live broadcast because I was already doing it on Instagram. And I've been doing it over the past 4 or 5 years with my iPad as well when I travel. So it's great to have an organization like HAPS recognize what I'm trying to do. Let me turn this around so you can see my face. You don't have to look at my drawing so much. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I think it's great. I think what HAPS is trying to do is so great. I was watching a broadcast that you were doing with somebody last night. It was recorded, it was not live. And you were talking about the community of HAPS, trying to make the community a thoughtful and supportive community of people, which I think you're doing. And I really appreciate that. And that you also encourage dialogue, that we're going to have people with different opinions on here. And that's important, as long as we don't yell at each other and call each other names, which you encourage people not to do. And that's what I do. People can criticize my drawing if they want, but don't make it personal. Just say, I don't agree with you. In fact, I remember early in the days of this pandemic when I was drawing about just the pandemic, drawing about the healthcare workers and whatnot. And then I started shifting into politics more because Black Lives Matter was happening. And I started doing more political cartoons on my live drawing, which I've done for my whole career, but not in these spaces. And I lost a couple of people because they said, I don't want to see your politics. I don't want to hear about your politics. I'm like, okay, that's fine with me. I'm sorry to lose you, but if people are disagreeing with me, that's fine. If they think that I'm wrong, that's fine. I'm going to be wrong, but let's be civil about it. Let's talk about it, because that's the only way we're going to move forward, right? And I think cartoons, this is what I've said for years, cartoons are about dialogue. They're really, for me, they're about dialogue. They're a way to have a conversation with people. I'm less interested in broadcasting my opinion about something than sharing my viewpoint and having people respond to it and tell me what they think and agree with me or disagree with me. Karen wants to know, will he have to appear at the impeachment trial? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Oops, what's going on? Cancel. Are you looking forward to Biden? Yeah, I am. It'll be really interesting. Do you have ideas for a less easy target? I don't. I try to respond to the news as it happens, not really plan ahead. Let's see what else people are saying. Hello, David Newman from LA. Now, David, you're one of the co-founders, right, of HAPS? And I've met you via Zoom. Thank you for the award, David. That hair color, yeah. It's actually, I draw it orange, a little bit orange blonde now, Trump's hair color. But he's actually gone gray. He's letting it go gray. Have you noticed? It's not as fun to draw. David says, I'm so happy when you don't have to draw that Strunz anymore. Yeah, I know. Me too. I was just discussing how maybe this is the last time I'll be drawing him. I don't know. And he's not wearing his short pants in this drawing. Looking at your comments. Oh, the chat's not working for you at all? I see your comment now. Thanks, Karen. Try to contact me through email, and I'll get you a hat, one of my caps, one of my speaking caps. If you want one of my hats, you can go to my website, lizadonnelly.com, and there's a place to purchase stuff with my drawings on them. Amen, Ray Civility. Yeah. Bringing down a demagogue by making fun is the best way to get at these people. It certainly makes it more enjoyable. I don't know if it, Trump never paid any attention to cartoons, so I don't know if what we do has any power. I'd like to think it does. I think most cartoonists are optimists only in that we think we're doing something to help. We probably aren't, but I know that Nixon was brought down by a great cartoonist named Herb Block from the Washington Post, and he did a lot of cartoons about Watergate, and I think with his drawings and with the reporting in the Washington Post, I think combined helped bring Nixon down. I don't know if I can say the same about Trump and political cartoons. There certainly have been a lot of them. This is current events with a twist of humor. That's what I try, although I haven't been very funny lately. Lucas, I don't know who that is. Bolsonaro. I'm sorry. Thank you, Karen. David says he's one of the co-founders. Yep, of HAPS. Well, thank you for co-founding it, guys. It's really a really great new startup, and I wish you well. I hope it goes well. Let's see. Somebody says they don't have any political involvement, but they like my work. That's nice. I like hearing that. Ireland, hello. Hello, Walt from Ireland. I love Ireland. Been there a couple of times. Yeah, cartooning is, sometimes it's great to get the idea across quickly without words. I like to try to use as few words as possible in my cartoons. Although with the New Yorker, the cartoons I do for the New Yorker usually have words. Although I saw one this week with very minimal words. Oh, sorry, Bolsonaro is president of Brazil. Oh, sorry. I should know things like that. I've never tried to draw him, obviously. I do venture into political issues that are not U.S., and maybe that's what I will do as we go into the new administration. I'll do more cartoons about international things, particularly women's rights. I like to do cartoons about women's rights, and in fact, every Wednesday I usually do that, but I didn't today. It's a passion of mine, and international women's rights. So I'll probably focus less on because Biden is less of a personality, and actually it's a better way to go, I think, in the long run, instead of focusing on one individual and ridiculing him. I don't like to do that. Walt Holick, hi, so great to see you. Where are you, Walt? You're in Ireland, yeah. Where are you, in Dublin, Walt? Where are you based? My style of print should be a font. Thank you. I think so too. I'd love to try to figure out how to do that. I know there's probably a way. Thanks, Mark, for the award. Supporting Women Award. Thank you. Well, that's me. International Women's Day is March 8th, and I usually do something for that. Yep. So if you joined us late, you'll see what I drew today, which I didn't finish because I was waiting for it to dry. Is Trump walking across, and he's got on his lapel, instead of a scarlet A, he's wearing it will be maybe a purple I. Scarlet is too Republican, and I think it's a bipartisan impeachment. Not a hugely bipartisan, but I think it's going to be somewhat bipartisan in the end. The House was 10 Republicans voted to impeach him today, which is more Republicans that voted to impeach a president. I'm sorry, yeah, more Republicans, more people of the opposite party voted to impeach him than in any other impeachment. Let's see what you guys are saying. You live an hour south of Dublin, near the Blackstairs Mountains. That's great. I was in Dublin last year, and I did travel around Ireland a little bit I was doing a live drawing stint with a tourist bureau, and I was drawing places and people in different parts of Ireland, just mostly the south and west of Ireland, of Dublin. And it was great. I really loved it. It's just such a beautiful country, a lot of fun, fun people. Um, biggest bipartisan in history. Yeah, that's what I read. Biggest bipartisan vote in history. Well, I think that's all I've got for today. Hope you guys are well and hope you're wearing your masks. Please, the pandemic is the next. After the impeachment, the pandemic is going to be the biggest thing to draw about, unfortunately. And I've drawn about that a lot already. You work in Dublin, so you have to commute an hour and a half every day, or an hour, sorry, just an hour south of Dublin. Must be a really pretty drive. Um, so I decided not to go to the inauguration, which is the only logical thing to do because I was going to go and live draw it for Medium. I'm still going to draw it for Medium. Medium.com, if you don't know, is a great blog platform, which is where I publish most 99% of my political drawings are on Medium, and they've hired me to do things like that before I did the election night with them. And I'll be doing during the day of the inauguration. I'm sure I'm going to live stream too for perhaps. But I decided not to go because of the risk. And also, Mayor Bowser asked people not to come, and I don't want to be any problem. And I don't know what there will be to draw. I don't want to draw a lot of mean and angry Trump supporters. I don't want to draw. I mean, I will if they're there. I will certainly draw them from my studio. I'll be watching all day long, and I'll draw them. But I don't know what there is going to be. I don't know what there is to be seen in Washington on inauguration day, except for a lot of troops, a lot of security, and probably angry Trump supporters. That's my guess. Thank you, Walt. Just subscribe. Thank you so much. So you'll now get an alert when I go live, which is every weekday at 6 o'clock on the East Coast. 15,000 troops to draw. Yeah, that's because I went in 2016 to draw the inauguration with CBS, and it was really kind of fun because people were sort of happy, and I mean, there were some protesters. The Democrats weren't happy, but everybody was getting along, and so it was. I was drawing the people. I drew some of the speakers, and so it was a pleasant thing. But this particular inauguration is going to be pleasant on one level, but scary on another. So anyway, I've been gabbing a lot. Hello, Adam. Thank you for the award, Adam Cobb. So anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope you guys are well and stay safe, and I will see you again tomorrow, same time, same place, 6 o'clock from my studio. And have a great evening or afternoon or morning if you happen to be somewhere that it's morning, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks so much. Take care, guys. Bye.